time to get our teens talking. Today's show is about women's worth. Women are worth more than what society tends to portray them as being. In fact, women are often downplayed for their accomplishments as well as their achievements. This has a lot to do with stereotypes and common gender roles. Serenity, you're a woman, and what is your opinion on what gender roles are?
My opinion on gender roles is basically how they portray women as how we're supposed to be, as in like back in the old days where women, they're not allowed to, like, they wasn't really supposed to work, they wasn't supposed to be making money for the family. They're just supposed to stay home, take care of their husband and their kids in the house.
Yep.
And the men were supposed to be the ones to go get the money. But nowadays, a lot of things has changed, but you can obviously tell that some men are hurt about it because there's women out there making more money than their husbands or their boyfriends.
Yeah, and I believe that should be more common. We shouldn't feel like that's weird, or we all, I feel like a lot of women have a problem with when they make more than their husbands. It's like that's like a bad stereotype. Deshaun, how do you feel?
I feel like even with women making more money than their husbands, it's a good thing, but it just all depends on your career field. What exactly are you doing? So I feel like you can't really compare genders. You should really be comparing what roles are you guys doing differently for you to even achieve that much money. Because I feel like if you were a sports anchor, it makes sense why you're making over 6 figures versus you being a teacher. But I feel like that shouldn't really have an issue in a relationship if these are what you're doing your passion. So as long as you're doing your passion, I feel like that's really should matter.
Do you feel that there should be certain gender roles that men and women are taught as they grow up, Deshaun?
Yes, cooking and cleaning. I just noticed like now in this generation, a lot of kids, like my younger brother, they're not cooking and cleaning like how we were and how we were being raised. So I feel like it went from, okay, you need to teach the girls to cook and clean. Now,
right.
A lot of young boys don't even know how to cook and clean up after themselves. And it's like the older that they get, it's sad. Like, how are you this old and you're not doing this? So it's almost like, what do we need to do better to instill that in them? Like, cooking and cleaning is essential.
Right. That's not a gender thing. Just because I'm a woman doesn't mean go clean the dishes or make dinner. I feel like if you're raising a boy and a girl, that they should both be taught that.
Exactly.
So, Eric, how do you feel about gender roles when it comes to boys and girls being able to date or stay out past certain curfews? Do you think those should be implemented?
Yes, I personally feel that those should be implemented, like those rules, depending on whether that they're guys or girls, because at the end of the day, they're still your children and you want them to be safe and everything. But for guys and girls dating, it's all like not. It's all different these days because there's guys who like other guys and girls who like other girls and everything, and people who like both genders. So like the roles haven't really been implemented so much with our generation as much as it may have been my parents' generations and stuff like that. So yeah.
Which is good. That means we're changing, we're evolving, and these gender stereotypes, and even at the moment, our sexes and who we date, that's changing as well, which is kind of a good thing that we're not so strict in our guidelines. How do you think the way a person is raised can affect their gender identity, Serenity?
I don't really know because I've seen like men that grew up in it'll be like one boy grows up in a house full of girls, but he's still like, I'm not gonna say necessarily like gay, but he's in touch with his feminine side, which, like, to be honest, that's not something bad. And a lot of men try to make them feel like that is, because if you really notice, like, guys who have sisters, they're a little bit more in touch with their feelings than guys who just have all brothers. Because when you're in a house full of a whole bunch of guys, like, you always getting taught you can't cry, you're not supposed to cry, toughen up, that's not what you're supposed to do. We don't talk about our feelings, like, but with girls, we're more sensitive. So we're going to be like, so tell me what's wrong. It's okay to cry. And what men don't realize is that it is okay to cry
Yeah.
either.
I agree with that, because I mean that's the same as I was raised up. If I was raised with a bunch of boys around the house, I'm probably gonna be more rough. I'm probably a little bit more masculine. Deshaun, how do you feel?
Just speaking on just them being able to cry, I noticed like a lot of women, they don't like crying in front of men because they feel like it makes them weak. It makes the man feel like he has more power over them. So I feel like that's why having brothers, it kind of teaches women to hold their emotions in. Not to say like you can't cry, but it definitely does teaches you, okay, look, I can't be crying at everything. It's certain things that's serious, and there's certain things like you need to suck it up. Come on now. So I feel like that's the only thing with having brothers versus having brothers and sisters.
So, Aaron, why do you think common stereotypes such as women can't play sports and girls take too long to get dressed still remain in society today?
Well, because I don't know why, but since we live in a man's world, so it's like where what a man says, it goes. And not gonna lie, sometimes you guys do be taking a little long to get ready.
They do. They be needing 2 hours.
But yeah, I feel like literally, man. But
keep going.
I know, but like I just feel like since it was like, since we're in a man's world, like a lot of stuff like have been like ruled by mans. I personally believe that we have a lot of great people who play sports, and a lot of great women who play sports, and especially we have a lot of great Black women who play sports too. So I feel like that stereotype is just it's not correct. But yeah.
Right.
Even
keep going.
And to add on what Aaron was even saying, like I've noticed like a lot of Black women who do play sports, they're not really publicized in the media. It's like when it came down to Venus and Serena Williams, they didn't really get a lot of exposure when they were really trending. And it's like as their careers started to kind of decrease, because now they're getting closer to retirement, now you see more photo shoots of them. Now you see them more around. Now you see them on flyers. But in the peak of everything that was going on, it's like they wasn't really advertised. Women didn't know that they could go play tennis. It was more like, okay, well, this is the exception. They're just good at it. That's kind of what you would see.
Well, but as well as like with women's soccer team, they're actually better than the men's soccer team. But yet the men are getting paid more, but the women have more championships.
Yo, there was a tournament in the summer, leading into this school year, like summer 2019, and it was women's soccer. Like the USA team, they're freaking killing it, man. Like they're like awesome, because I couldn't keep my eyes off of them. It was like I was just like, do they really do that? And like their star player Megan Rapinoe, she's awesome. But yeah,
I watched that. It was amazing. I didn't even think I would do it. It was on my accident, but it was amazing.
She said,
yeah, the same thing happened for me. I was in summer school. I was like, hold up.
It was nice. Serenity, what is your definition of a feminist?
Yes, light skin.
My definition of feminist, just somebody who believes that, women, like, they can do anything a man can do, to be honest. But even though we can do it better, just saying. It just, like, believes that in, like, they don't believe in the double standards. They don't believe in, that women are supposed to only do and be certain things. Like, people believe that women are supposed to be nurses when there's men that are nurses. Like, there's women that are CEOs. And, like, feminist is, like, somebody who can break down those barriers and know that we can do anything.
We can, exactly. Deshaun, you're a man, but what does it mean to you to be a feminist?
I feel like just to be able to support our women in anything that they're doing, just being able to say, look, I got your back. This might not be the best idea, but I got your back. And that's honestly what they be wanting. They be wanting us to have their back, just like they have ours.
We want support. I believe that, I won't say everybody, but I believe that most women should be feminists, because we should want equal opportunity. We shouldn't want to be, as they said back in the day, barefoot and pregnant, and that's all that we can do. Now, I don't think that we should downplay the women that want to do that. There's nothing wrong with women who want to just do housework.
It be stay-at-home moms because they great at what they do.
Yeah.
It's just not for everybody.
It's not.
Yeah.
So, Aaron, why do you think that it's okay for women to be more masculine than men to be more feminine?
Ooh, that's actually a pretty good question. Well, I think that it's okay for women to be more masculine than more guys to be feminine, because it just has to do with stereotypes. Because a lot of it's very easy for females to break out of the stereotypes that they were given, but for guys, it's like, well, you're not supposed to cry, so toughen up, be a man, do stuff like that. And it's like every guy around you was like, oh, he's weak, he's crying and stuff like that, and he's being in touch with his feelings. That's why, I'm kind of different from a lot of guys per se, because I'm not in touch with my feminine side, but I just like to get like opinions from like females and see like what if I'm doing this correctly, if I'm doing this incorrectly, but a lot of people look down upon that. But I feel like it's an up.
Yeah, I mean, as you should be. I feel like if I want to be more masculine, then I can be more masculine. And I don't feel like that we should look down upon that, where even in relationships where men have to be the head of the household, those kind of stereotypes should be kind of kicked out the door by now. I feel like it's time that I think it's maturity. It's a kind of a maturity thing that we all have to get to know and understand. Serenity, what ways can society finally treat men and women equally?
A way that they can treat us equally is just stop putting us in a box. It's one thing to, how do I say, like, yeah, that's how we're raised, but it's also very important that you adapt to society as we grow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, we are not still back in the 60s. Okay, some people are trapped there, and what people need to realize is that this world is going to keep growing, and we're just going to keep getting more and more inventive. We're going to do a whole lot of different things. What they don't realize, like Back to the Future, we're supposed to have flying cars right now. I mean, we don't, not yet, but still, like, we're not back in those days in the 60s where, the color, like, it's black and white. No, we're having vivid colors with vivid dreams, and people are we're just upgrading, basically. So, yeah, like, they just really need to stop putting us in a box, because that's not okay.
With those final words of encouragement, that's all we have for you guys today. Thank you all for tuning into Teen Talks podcast. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at Teen Talk Vegas 881, and also check us out on teentalkvegas.com.
Thank you all for tuning into our YouTube channel. Be sure to check us out on Instagram and Facebook at Teen Talk Vegas 881. Stay tuned for more Teen Talk after this.